Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a moment in life when you realize that not every fight is worth fighting and not every voice deserves a response. Today I want to remind you that your greatest strength is often not in what you say, but in what you don't say. Silence is one of the most underrated forms of communication. It is a force so powerful that it can shift the dynamics of a conversation, change the course of an argument, and even transform relationships. Silence, when understood and used wisely, is not the absence of sound but the presence of intentionality. It is a deliberate decision to withhold words, to refrain from reacting, and to allow space for clarity and reflection. Silence is not just about avoiding noise, it is about creating room for wisdom to emerge. When you choose silence, you are exercising control over yourself. It takes strength to resist the urge to respond impulsively, especially in moments of conflict or provocation. Most people believe that reacting quickly shows strength, but true strength lies in mastering the pause. Silence gives you the power to assess a situation objectively, to process your emotions, and to determine the best course of action. It is in silence that clarity is found, and clarity leads to wisdom. In a world that values loudness and constant communication, silence is a rare and precious commodity. It stands in stark contrast to the chaos of endless chatter and reactive responses. When you are silent, you step out of the noise and into a space of control. You are no longer a puppet pulled by the strings of others' words or actions. Instead, you become the master of your response or your lack of one. Silence allows you to take charge of the narrative, to maintain your dignity, and to refuse to engage in negativity. Silence is also an act of preservation. Reacting to every word, every slight, every insult drains your energy. It's like pouring water into a bucket with holes. No matter how much you pour, it's never enough. But when you choose silence, you seal those holes. You conserve your energy for what truly matters. You stop giving power to people or situations that don't deserve it. Silence protects your peace, and in a world full of noise and distractions, peace is priceless. It is important to understand that silence is not passive, it is active. It is not the absence of effort, but the presence of restraint. When you are silent, you are saying, I choose not to engage, I choose not to fight this battle. I choose to protect my peace and my purpose. This is not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of wisdom. It takes more strength to remain silent than to lash out. It takes more courage to walk away than to stay and argue. There is a misconception that silence means acceptance, that it means you agree with or condone what is happening. But silence does not mean compliance, it means prioritization. It means you have chosen to focus on what matters most. You cannot afford to waste time and energy on things that do not align with your purpose. Every time you react, you are investing a piece of yourself into that situation. Silence is a way of saying, I will not invest in what does not serve me. Silence is also a way of communicating powerfully without words. Sometimes the most profound messages are conveyed not through speech, but through the absence of it. When you choose not to respond, you are making a statement, this does not deserve my attention. I refuse to lower myself to this level. Silence speaks volumes, and its impact can be greater than any argument or explanation. Silence creates space for reflection, both for yourself and for others. When you are silent, you give yourself the opportunity to think deeply, to process your emotions, and to gain perspective. This is especially important in moments of conflict. Reacting in the heat of the moment often leads to regret, but silence allows you to respond thoughtfully or not at all. For others, your silence forces them to confront their actions and words. It creates an uncomfortable void that they must fill, and in doing so, they often reveal more about themselves than they intended. In relationships, silence can be a tool for setting boundaries. Not every comment deserves a response, and not every argument deserves your participation. Silence is a way of saying, I value myself enough to disengage from this negativity. It is a form of self-respect, a way of protecting your mental and emotional well-being. When you are silent, you are telling the other person, you do not have control over me. I will not allow you to dictate my emotions or my actions. Silence is also a gateway to growth. When you stop reacting to external noise, you can focus on your internal world. You can identify what truly matters, what deserves your energy, and what needs to be let go. Growth requires space, and silence creates that space. It allows you to let go of distractions, to separate yourself from toxicity, and to move forward with clarity and purpose. In silence, there is strength. In silence, there is peace. And in silence, there is wisdom. It is a tool that, when used wisely, can transform not only your relationships, but also your life. Silence is not the absence of power, it is its highest expression. When you learn to master silence, you learn to master yourself. Energy is one of the most valuable resources you possess. Unlike material possessions which can be replaced, or time which moves forward regardless of your actions, your energy is something you have the power to preserve, allocate, and direct. It fuels your thoughts, emotions, and actions, influencing every aspect of your life. Protecting your energy means safeguarding your ability to function, thrive, and achieve your purpose in the midst of challenges, distractions, and negativity. Many people go through life unaware of how their energy is being spent. Every interaction, every thought, every decision takes a portion of it. Some moments replenish you, while others drain you. The key is learning to discern between the two and making intentional choices about where your energy goes. Not everything or everyone is worthy of your time and attention. When you understand this, you begin to approach life with a mindset of preservation and intentionality. Protecting your energy starts with awareness. It requires you to recognize the people, situations, and habits that leave you feeling depleted. Toxic relationships, for instance, are one of the most significant drains on energy. Whether it's a friend who constantly complains without seeking solutions, a family member who criticizes everything you do, or a colleague who thrives on gossip and negativity, these interactions chip away at your emotional reserves. Relationships are central to the human experience. They shape our thoughts, influence our emotions, and determine the trajectory of our lives. Yet, not all relationships are created equal. While some nurture, inspire, and elevate us, others can drain, derail, and hinder us. Discernment in relationships is the ability to distinguish between connections that build us and those that break us. It is the wisdom to recognize when to hold on and when to let go, understanding that not everyone deserves a place in our journey. At the core of discernment is self-awareness. To truly evaluate a relationship, you must first understand yourself, your values, goals, and the vision you have for your life. When you know what you stand for and where you are headed, it becomes easier to identify relationships that align with your purpose. Discernment requires you to ask hard questions. Does this person encourage my growth? Do they respect my boundaries? Are they contributing to my peace or disrupting it? These questions help you assess the true nature of your connections and make informed decisions about them. Discernment is not about judgment or superiority, it is about clarity. Every person who enters your life brings an influence. Some will encourage you to strive for greatness, while others may unconsciously or intentionally pull you away from your potential. Recognizing these patterns is essential. Relationships should be reciprocal, a mutual exchange of respect, encouragement, and support. When the balance shifts and one person takes more than they give, the relationship can become a burden rather than a blessing. Toxic relationships are one of the greatest threats to personal peace and progress. They often disguise themselves as obligations, comfort zones, or long-standing connections. These relationships may not always appear harmful on the surface, but they subtly erode your confidence, drain your energy, and distract you from your goals. Discernment allows you to see beyond appearances, identifying when a relationship no longer serves your growth. This is not an act of selfishness, but of self-preservation. You cannot pour into others if you are constantly depleted. Another element of discernment is understanding seasons in relationships. Not all connections are meant to last a lifetime. Some people are seasonal. They come into your life for a specific reason or period, contributing to your journey in unique ways. However, seasons change, and holding on to a relationship past its expiration date can prevent both parties from moving forward. It takes courage to recognize when a season has ended and wisdom to release it with grace. Discernment also involves paying attention to actions rather than words. People can say all the right things, but their actions reveal their true character and intentions. Someone who claims to support you but consistently undermines your efforts or ignores your needs is showing you who they truly are. It is crucial to trust what you observe rather than what you hope for. Patterns of behavior speak louder than promises, and discernment requires you to listen to these patterns. Boundaries are an integral part of discernment. Healthy relationships respect the lines you draw to protect your peace and well-being. When someone consistently oversteps your boundaries or dismisses them, it is a sign that the relationship may not be healthy. Setting boundaries is not about pushing people away, but about creating space for mutual respect. Discernment helps you identify those who honor your boundaries and those who challenge them, enabling you to make decisions that safeguard your emotional health. Discernment also means acknowledging your own role in relationships. It is easy to focus on how others impact you, but true wisdom involves self-reflection. Are you contributing to the toxicity of a connection? Are you projecting unrealistic expectations onto others? Are you seeking validation from relationships that you should be finding within yourself? Discernment begins with accountability, ensuring that you are bringing your best self into every connection. Letting go of relationships that no longer serve you is one of the hardest aspects of discernment. It often involves pain, guilt, and the fear of being alone. However, releasing toxic or unaligned connections creates space for healthier, more fulfilling relationships. It allows you to focus on the connections that truly matter, those that align with your values, encourage your growth, and contribute to your peace. Discernment is not a one-time event, but an ongoing process. People change, circumstances shift, and relationships evolve. Regularly evaluating the health and impact of your connections ensures that you remain aligned with your purpose and protected from unnecessary harm. It is an act of wisdom to prioritize your well-being and an act of love to ensure that your relationships are rooted in mutual respect and growth. Actions speak louder than words. This phrase, often repeated but rarely internalized, holds profound truth. In a world where opinions, debates, and arguments dominate, actions remain the most powerful expression of one's values, beliefs, and intentions. Arguments can be compelling in the moment, but they rarely bring about lasting change. Actions, however, leave an undeniable impact, cutting through the noise and proving authenticity. Choosing actions over arguments is not about avoiding conflict, but about demonstrating clarity, focus, and intentionality in how we navigate life. Words are easy to produce, they cost little effort. Yet they often lack the depth and sincerity that actions convey. In an argument, words are used to persuade, defend, or prove a point. They rely on logic, emotion, or rhetoric to win approval or acceptance. But words can also be manipulative, misunderstood, or dismissed entirely. Actions, on the other hand, cannot be easily contested. They carry the weight of conviction, illustrating commitment without the need for explanation. When faced with a choice between proving yourself through words or demonstrating through actions, the latter always carries more substance. Life is full of moments that tempt us to argue, to defend ourselves, or to prove that we are right. It's natural to want to explain our perspective, to clarify misunderstandings, or to convince others of our intentions. But arguments often escalate into conflict, creating more division than resolution. They shift the focus from the issue at hand to a contest of egos, where winning becomes more important than understanding. Choosing actions over arguments allows you to step out of the cycle of conflict and focus on what truly matters, living in alignment with your values. When you act instead of argue, you redirect your energy from proving a point to creating impact. Consider this: it's easy to argue with someone about the need for kindness, but a single act of kindness can illustrate its power more effectively than any debate. Arguing may satisfy the need to be heard, but actions satisfy the deeper need to create change. They serve as evidence that requires no justification. You don't need to argue about who you are when your actions make it clear. Arguments often rely on others' willingness to listen, understand, or agree. Actions, however, are independent of external validation. They reflect your integrity and purpose regardless of others' opinions. By prioritizing actions, you free yourself from the need for approval. You stop waiting for permission to move forward or to prove your worth. This independence empowers you to focus on what you can control: your behavior, your choices, and your contributions. Actions also have a ripple effect that words often lack. While arguments may linger in the memory for a short time, actions create lasting impressions. A person who consistently demonstrates reliability, generosity, or courage will be remembered far more than someone who merely talks about these qualities. Actions inspire others to follow suit, creating a chain reaction of positive behavior. They show people what is possible rather than telling them what to do. In this way, actions become a silent yet powerful form of leadership. When faced with criticism or negativity, choosing actions over arguments is an act of self-discipline. It takes restraint to refrain from engaging in debates or defending yourself against every accusation. But silence, coupled with consistent action, is often the strongest response. It shows that you are not swayed by distractions or provocation. Instead, you remain focused on your purpose, letting your actions speak for themselves. Over time, those who doubted or opposed you will have no choice but to acknowledge the evidence of your character and commitment. Actions also create clarity. They strip away the ambiguity that often accompanies words. Arguments can be interpreted in multiple ways, shaped by tone, context, or personal biases. Actions, however, are direct and unambiguous. They leave no room for misinterpretation. When someone sees you living your values, working toward your goals, or treating others with respect, there is no need for explanation. Your actions define who you are more clearly than any argument ever could. Living by actions rather than arguments also fosters peace and productivity. Arguments often lead to frustration, resentment, or wasted time. They consume energy that could be better spent on building, creating, and contributing. Actions, in contrast, focus on solutions and progress. They channel your energy into tangible outcomes, allowing you to move forward even in the face of opposition. When you act with intention, you create a momentum that words alone cannot achieve. In relationships, actions are the foundation of trust. Promises, apologies, and declarations mean little without the actions to back them up. Consistently showing up, keeping your word, and demonstrating care build trust far more effectively than arguing about intentions. People may forget what you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel through your actions. Ultimately, actions over arguments is a philosophy of living with purpose and integrity. It is about prioritizing what you do over what you say, letting your behavior reflect your values, and focusing on outcomes rather than disputes. It is a way of navigating life that emphasizes substance over style, evidence over rhetoric, and progress over pride. By choosing actions over arguments, you not only elevate yourself but also inspire others to do the same. Solitude is often misunderstood. Many see it as loneliness or isolation, something to be avoided at all costs. But solitude, when embraced intentionally, is a fertile ground for personal growth and transformation. It is in moments of solitude that clarity emerges, creativity flourishes, and self-discovery takes place. In a world filled with constant noise, distractions, and demands, solitude offers a rare opportunity to pause, reflect, and realign with one's true self. Growth in solitude is not a passive state, it is an active journey of becoming. In solitude, you confront yourself in ways that are not possible when surrounded by others. The distractions of social interactions, work obligations, and digital noise often keep you from addressing your innermost thoughts and emotions. Solitude creates a space where you are forced to face yourself, to ask questions you may have been avoiding, and to explore parts of yourself that remain hidden in the presence of others. This confrontation is not always comfortable, but it is necessary for growth. It is in this space that you begin to understand who you are, what you value, and where you want to go. The absence of external influences in solitude allows you to hear your own voice clearly. In daily life, it is easy to adopt the opinions, expectations, and desires of those around you. In solitude, these external pressures fade, and you are left with your own thoughts. This clarity is essential for making decisions that are truly aligned with your values and aspirations. It is in these moments of quiet that you can assess whether the path you are on is the one you genuinely desire or one that has been shaped by others' expectations. Solitude also provides the mental space needed for creativity to flourish. Many of the world's greatest thinkers, artists, and innovators have spoken of the importance of solitude in their creative processes. In the stillness of solitude, the mind is free to wander, to explore new ideas, and to connect seemingly unrelated concepts. The absence of distractions allows you to dive deeply into your thoughts, uncovering insights and solutions that might have been overlooked in the busyness of everyday life. Solitude becomes a sanctuary for creativity, a place where ideas can take root and grow. Growth in solitude is not just about intellectual or creative development, it is also about emotional healing. When surrounded by noise and activity, it is easy to suppress or ignore difficult emotions. Solitude, however, provides the space to process and release these emotions. It allows you to sit with your feelings, to understand their origins, and to find ways to heal. This emotional work is crucial for personal growth, as unresolved emotions can act as barriers to progress. In solitude, you give yourself the gift of attention and care, creating a foundation for emotional well-being. Spiritual growth also thrives in solitude. Many spiritual traditions emphasize the importance of withdrawing from the world to connect with a higher power or to gain a deeper understanding of existence. In solitude, you have the opportunity to explore your spirituality, to seek answers to life's bigger questions, and to cultivate a sense of inner peace. This spiritual connection can provide a source of strength, guidance, and purpose, enriching your life in profound ways. Solitude teaches resilience. When you spend time alone, you learn to rely on yourself. You discover your own strengths and develop the ability to navigate challenges independently. This self-reliance builds confidence and fosters a sense of empowerment. It reminds you that you are capable of standing on your own, of finding solutions, and of overcoming obstacles without needing constant validation or support from others. Growth in solitude also involves reevaluating relationships. When you step back from the noise and distractions of life, you gain perspective on the connections you have with others. Solitude allows you to assess whether these relationships are healthy and supportive, or whether they are draining and misaligned with your values. This reflection can lead to more intentional and fulfilling connections as you gain clarity about the type of relationships you want to nurture. Time alone also fosters gratitude. When you step away from the chaos of daily life, you gain a greater appreciation for the simple things, the beauty of nature, the joy of quiet moments, and the value of your own company. This gratitude shifts your perspective, allowing you to approach life with a greater sense of contentment and fulfillment. Solitude requires intentionality. It is not about retreating from life, but about creating space for growth. It is about choosing to be alone with purpose, to engage in self-reflection, and to invest in personal development. It is an active process of discovering who you are, what you want, and how you can become the best version of yourself. In solitude, you are both the student and the teacher, the sculptor and the clay. The growth that occurs in these moments of stillness is profound, shaping not only who you are, but also who you have the potential to become. Life offers countless opportunities to grow, achieve, and make a meaningful impact, yet it also presents endless distractions that pull us away from what truly matters. Among these distractions, pettiness stands out as one of the most insidious. It manifests in unnecessary arguments, trivial grievances, and an obsession with minor offenses. Pettiness consumes time, energy, and focus, leaving little room for progress or fulfillment. Choosing purpose over pettiness is a deliberate decision to rise above trivial concerns and dedicate yourself to what truly aligns with your values and aspirations. It is a choice that requires clarity, discipline, and a commitment to the bigger picture. Purpose is the guiding force that gives life direction. It is the reason behind your actions and the foundation of your goals. When you are driven by purpose, your perspective shifts. Small annoyances and petty conflicts lose their power because your focus is fixed on something greater. Purpose provides a sense of clarity, allowing you to distinguish between what deserves your attention and what can be ignored. It is a filter through which every decision and interaction is evaluated, ensuring that your energy is invested in what truly matters. Pettiness thrives in environments where purpose is absent or unclear. When you lack a sense of direction, it becomes easy to get caught up in minor disputes or to focus on perceived slights. Pettiness often stems from insecurity, pride, or a desire for validation, none of which serve a greater purpose. It traps you in a cycle of negativity where your energy is spent on things that have no lasting value. Choosing purpose over pettiness means refusing to engage in this cycle. It is an acknowledgement that your time and energy are too valuable to waste on things that do not contribute to your growth or success. One of the most important aspects of choosing purpose over pettiness is learning to let go. Letting go does not mean you ignore challenges or accept disrespect. It means you choose your battles wisely. Not every comment requires a response, and not every disagreement needs to be resolved. When you are anchored in purpose, you understand that your energy is better spent building, creating, and progressing than proving a point. Letting go of pettiness is an act of self-preservation and self-respect. It demonstrates that you are in control of your emotions and priorities, not swayed by the trivial actions or words of others. Purpose also fosters emotional maturity. It encourages you to rise above ego-driven reactions and focus on long-term goals. Pettiness, on the other hand, often involves reacting impulsively, driven by the need to win or to prove yourself right. These reactions rarely lead to resolution and often escalate conflicts instead. When you choose purpose, you approach situations with a sense of calm and perspective. You understand that not every situation is worth your time, and you learn to prioritize peace over pride. Choosing purpose over pettiness is especially important in relationships. Pettiness can erode trust, respect, and connection, creating a toxic environment where small grievances overshadow meaningful interactions. When you focus on purpose in your relationships, you prioritize understanding, empathy, and growth. You learn to overlook minor faults and focus on the bigger picture, the love, respect, and shared goals that define the relationship. Purpose helps you see beyond momentary frustrations, allowing you to approach conflicts with a mindset of resolution rather than retaliation. In professional settings, choosing purpose over pettiness can be the difference between stagnation and success. Workplaces are often breeding grounds for pettiness, with gossip, rivalry, and trivial disputes consuming valuable time and energy. Purpose allows you to rise above these distractions and focus on your goals. It helps you maintain professionalism, build strong relationships, and contribute meaningfully to your team or organization. By staying aligned with your purpose, you demonstrate leadership and maturity, qualities that set you apart and pave the way for greater opportunities. The pursuit of purpose also builds resilience. When you are focused on a greater goal, setbacks and challenges are viewed as opportunities to learn and grow rather than reasons to dwell on negativity. Pettiness, by contrast, magnifies small problems, making them seem larger than they are. Purpose equips you with the perspective needed to navigate obstacles with grace and determination. It reminds you that the path to success is rarely free of difficulties, but that these difficulties are insignificant in the context of your greater mission. Living with purpose is a daily choice. It requires discipline to resist the pull of pettiness, especially in moments of frustration or anger. It involves training your mind to focus on what truly matters and to let go of distractions. This discipline grows stronger over time, and as it does, you find yourself more at peace, more productive, and more fulfilled. Purpose becomes a source of strength, guiding you through challenges and keeping you anchored in what truly matters. Ultimately, choosing purpose over pettiness is a commitment to yourself and to the life you want to create. It is a decision to invest your time and energy into what will bring you closer to your goals and to let go of what holds you back. It is a way of living that prioritizes growth, peace, and impact over momentary satisfaction. In every situation, you have a choice to react with pettiness or to respond with purpose. The choice you make determines the trajectory of your life.